Hey, what's up good people, welcome to episode 2 of PWND, and in this episode I would like to share with you guys not one but two modifications that I've done over the past couple of weeks. And actually, in fact, for one of these blasters I've actually worked on a long time ago, and it's just an update and I managed to get it working. Yeah, I mean, as you guys can tell in the video title what blasters they are. So I will share with you the first blaster, which is the Airzone Turbofire. Now previously I actually tried to modify a X-Shots version of the Turbofire. You can actually click this video, check out when I was sharing with you guys the problems I had. So anyways, I will just tell you more about this blaster first. What I did was I actually changed the entire turret. Now the original turret was not able to, accommodate rear loading slots, and it had air restrictors and everything. So when I tried to take out the ARs, I realized that it was two parts just glued in together, and that kind of sucked. Because stock, this blaster is actually pretty good. It was hitting about 30-35 feet stock, and that's pretty good for a 20-shot turret blaster. Alright, the way it's set up is pretty good. The plunger, I guess the turret is, plunger is always pressing against the turret via a spring, and that creates a pretty good seal stock. But you're not able to use other forms of darts besides the stock Airzone or the stock X-Shots darts, and they were slightly shorter, and yeah, any darts that had like a rubber tip, like for example a dart tag dart, you won't be able to sit in, so that kind of sucked. And I wanted to be able to use like Stefan's or streamline darts, and so I had to basically create my own turret. Now what I did was, in the past I actually used CPVC for each barrel, and that proved to be too heavy for the turret rotation mech to actually move. It was too tough, too heavy, too much of a load. And so I actually redid that. I just ripped out all the CPVC barrels. It's kind of heart-wrenching though, because I spent a lot of time on that. But anyway, I rebarrelled it with PETG. And if you guys actually know that my previous previous shell was actually the green one, the X-Shots one, and because of the spring load I actually changed it into, it was made of pretty bad plastic, so the force I had to use to prime the blaster eventually ripped this particular screw pot over here. And then yeah, you could actually see it split open every single time you pull it back. So the plastic was pretty flimsy, and to tell you the truth, this plastic is just as flimsy as the old X-Shots one. So yeah, you're not able to do a spring upgrade. I mean, you could if you were to reinforce a whole shell, but yeah, I'm lazy like that, and this is a fun mod. So alright, so on to how I did the turret. Basically I salvaged parts of the original stock turret. As you can see, the orange area over here, and you can see some screws, because these things are actually polycarb, 20 round polycarb spacers made by Venom. Thanks Venom. Venom makes really good barrel spacers. So I got a couple. There's actually two, one on the front, one on the back. I mean, one in the middle. It's not really the front, but you can't really tell, but you can see there are screws on this black area over here. This black area is also salvaged from the original stock turret, and in order to give it a little bit more of a, I guess, a pressure towards the back, you see I added a spring right there. I hope that you guys can see though. I really hope so. So anyway, PETG is a lot lighter. Yeah, you can see all the E-tape I put around. That's because these barrel spacers were actually made for CPVC, and PETG was a bit loose, so I had to put some E-tape around it, and just screwed everything in place. Make sure the measurements were right. Took me some time, but I got it down after a while, and it's working. It's not perfect, because on some barrels it would not rotate to the next slot, so you have to manually rotate. I still maintain this thing, and I think that's pretty cool. And basically the seal now has been improved, and I'm actually using craft foam. So yeah, I didn't do a spring upgrade, I just left it stock. That's all I have to say about this blaster. Alright, so you guys just take a quick look like that, and you can see all the rear loading slots like so. And I'll be firing off a couple of darts for you guys. I'll be using I guess I'll use two streamlines, one FDL dart, and a couple of pink foam Stefans. Okay, so that sounds like a good deal, right? I'll start with the streamlines first, so rear loading on this side, and then I'm just gonna skip that one. This one in over here. That's the FDL dart. Another streamline. Alright, so here we go. One pink foam Stefan and another pink foam Stefan, and let's see how this goes. Right, so is that the right one? Not yet. No, that's where it jammed up, so I'm just gonna turn it. Okay, so the first streamline now, I'm just gonna fire it off right here. second streamline. That's the FDL dart. That's the pink foam Stefan. And the last pink foam Stefan, I'm going to just fire it off here. Yeah, so as you can tell, the thing is all pretty alright. You have to use some force when you're priming it though, and because there's no restrictors, it sounds like this now. Yeah, the draw is pretty short. It's about, I would say, 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Yep. So you really have to hammer it. Now, my opinion on this mod, it's just a fun mod. Basically gives it capabilities that I actually mentioned before. Rear loading slots, no air restrictors, the ability to use other kinds of darts. But for the time taken and the amount of money I had to spend on this thing, like the PETG, the E-tape, the barrel spaces from Venom, and the amount of work, the tweaking, taking out the orange parts, you know, recalibrating all the internals and measuring everything all over again, it's not worth it, because the average range I'm getting now is just about a 10-foot improvement from the stock form. I mean, most of the time when you remove an air restrictor from a blaster, you'd get about, say, about 5 feet more. But because I actually rebarreled it, I'm getting a slightly better range. So ranges are about 40 to 45 feet flat. It's not that fantastic, so in my opinion it's just cool. It looks pretty sweet, looks badass. You know, red and black camo with a homemade turret, slightly homemade turret, and it's just pretty fast actually. So if it's like a fun war, maybe even a stock war, I don't know, or a CQB war, it'll be fine. Alright, so on to my next mod. Now originally you guys saw me do the unboxing for this, the Ninja Commando Blaster for the Furyfire, and now this thing just takes in, say, streamlines. Alright, so right, okay, right here, streamline. As you can see, it sucks when firing streamlines, but because the air restrictors are still inside, this is a completely stock one. So what I did was I took this and I actually turned it into this, and you can see the barrels are different. And now yep, so I actually performed the Furyfire 2K mod. Credits go to Jerm and Atani, of course, but I did mine slightly different from the way Atani and Jerm both did theirs. Atani actually followed Jerm. I mean, the way Jerm modded his, I actually spoke to Tanya about it and got some advice from him, and because I really like this red color, damn, probably gonna mod this one. But yeah, so this one actually holds a, like I said, 2K tank, right? So it's an AirTech 2000 air tank with an AirTech 2000 pump, and well, it's a bit different from the original Furyfire. Now I'm going to try and explain this to you guys, but I'm going to take the stock one. Alright, so what happens is, I guess the modding method is roughly the same. It's just that there's a lot more work that's needed to be done on the turret itself. Now apparently, I guess with the update, now you can see that the barrels actually have like these half lips, much like the way barricade is, you know, these half lips, because they want to, I guess it's meant for you to actually accommodate dart tech darts or whatever. I mean, the old one used to, but anyway, this one, yeah, you know, so you can see half of it. But that's where the problem actually lay. Now the problem actually lies. That's where the problem actually lies. Now the original Furyfire had featured a full lip on each of these barrels, and you could just saw off somewhere along this line just before the main stem of the barrel and use that part. But the problem is, because of this over here, tolerance is really narrow. So what I actually did was I had to saw it below the line and then bore out the inside so that I could fit PETG through, and therefore you get a thin line like that over here, and you can still see the orange star-shaped part of the turret. And at the back, they actually, I guess they kind of did it slightly differently, and now I actually have Dremel a lot more than what Atani had showed in his write-up. So if you guys want to check out Atani's write-up, please check out the description box below. I'm not going to do a write-up because, yeah. And what else I did different was on the inside, instead of just using wires like Atani or Jerm did to link up the trigger to the firing pin, I actually salvaged the stock AirTech 2000 firing mechanism, or the trigger, and I actually cut it off. And I guess I won't say much, just show you guys this picture, so take a look. So as you can see in this picture, that's what I basically did. I cut off the trigger part, and I actually hooked up the original, I guess, a firing pin area up there. Alright, okay, picture away now. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I did, and Atani didn't realize it because he was just following Jerm's write-up. So yeah, you guys might want to consider that if you're actually thinking of performing this mod. Now the most difficult part of doing this mod was actually lining up the firing mechanism with the turret rotation, and I had to make sure that, you know, on a half pole I would get the full turret rotation to the correct slot, and then on the second half of the pole I will release the air. So that was a bit tough, I would admit. Yes, Atani, you're right, that's one of the toughest parts. And I guess the way my seal is working right now, it's a bit harsh. I mean, it's pressing a bit hard on my turret, so sometimes the trigger return isn't that fantastic. So you can see it lags a bit. You see, now it's stuck, right? So now you see turret's not moving until I push the trigger forward, then it makes a full rotation. So that happens from time to time. It sucks, but it's one of those things that would get better over time once the craft foam actually settles down. So yeah, now quick firing demo for you guys. Rear loading slots on the back, 2 on each side. So just load up some darts over here. Hey, how would you get in? Okay, there we go. You can see the darts there right now. I'll just fire off 4, okay? Now the last thing that I did differently was I did not plug the pump per se. I actually installed a little screw into the OPRV, so now it's an adjustable OPRV. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to preserve this blaster. I don't want to screw up any of the, you know, the tubings or the tank itself, in fact. So once I reach 10 or 11 pumps, you'll actually hear the OPRV kicking in. Right, so have a listen. Okay, now pump number 10. Hear that? That's the OPRV kicking in. So now I'm gonna fire off. There's 4 darts in total, and here we go. That's one. And the last one I'll just fire off here with 8 pumps. Damn, that sound was scary. Okay, I'm glad I didn't damage that thing. Alright, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Now you need to actually do some work on the priming rod, the stock rod, and I'm pleased to announce that it's not much work. I guess Hasbro kind of redid the whole rod, and it's a lot easier to, you know, get, I don't know, shave off the notches or the nubs that are on it, because you're actually supposed to do that on the stock. Yeah, if you guys perform the mod, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, once you reach the rod, it's a lot easier to just Dremel off. There's not much to actually shave down. So once again, this is my modified, I guess you could call it Furyfire 2K, Ninja Commando Blaster 2K, whatever you want to call it. I really like it this way. I don't know, I'm a sucker for red blasters, and I really like this is like my first Furyfire-like or Furyfire-ish blaster, and I'm really glad I performed this mod. So credits to Jerm and Atani. So check out Jerm's channel over here, check out Atani's channel over here, go check the video description for Atani's write-up, go check out the video description for Jerm's blog and the Nerf Mods and Reviews blog, and that's all I have to say for right now. Once again, I modified this blaster and this blaster. I managed to finish it from way back, and these are the 2 blasters that I'd like to share with you guys today. So once again, this was a modified Air Zone Turbofire, and this is a modified, I guess, not really modified, a modified G.I. Joe Ninja Commando Blaster featuring an AirTech 2000 air tank on the inside. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be coming up next week, and I promise you that I have some interesting stuff to show you guys. So see you then. This is episode 2 of PWND. Peace.